Evening at the Movies is a proud member of the I Did Not Make These Rankings podcast network. Other shows in the network include Mass Debaters, The Sip List, Crushgasm, Love is Black, Men Are the Prize, Crime Rewind, and Literature Reapers. You can find out all about our shows and more at idnmtrpodcastnetwork.com. Happy listening. You are now entering the world of a movie review. A world full of drama, joy, ridicule, movie spoilers, unpopular opinions, and adult humor for as far as the eye can see. Welcome to An Evening at the Movies.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to your favorite, well, one of your favorite movie-based podcasts. I can't say we're the number one favorite because there's another great movie podcast host with us today. So I won't take all the glory from them, but, you know, we're at the top of everybody's list. So I'll take the credit. So, but co-host, what do we do on An Evening at the Movies?
Well, I don't do what you do. You eat stale popcorn and drink watered down sodas.
And talk about all of our favorite movies and why we love them.
I drink wine, and because we're doing spooky stuff tonight, I have got a spooky shirt. I've got my spooky water cup that you got me, Casey. And I have got the new Halloween 19 Crimes limited edition. You guys, the wine's fine. I mean, 19 Crimes is really good. But so this one's Bride of Frankenstein, and then the other one's Frankenstein. I was so mad I couldn't find them last year because I didn't get the Dracula one. So we just got an HEB. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but I went today and they had these, and I was like, yes. So 19 Crimes, sponsor me. I keep asking you, but yeah, this bottle is cool. The label is cool. It glows in the dark. So I've got.
No, I keep getting that ad on Instagram and all the rest of the things, and I'm like, okay, next time I go, I gotta look for them, and I haven't found them yet.
Have you ever had 19 Crimes at all, though? Like, have you done the label thing? Okay. The labels for these two are freaking cool.
Yeah, I've never seen those. So you just blew my mind.
I took videos of them. I'll message it to the group after we're done so you can see the labels. But
so,
yeah,
yes,
I'm ready to be spooky.
Technically, I'm not drinking the watered down soda today. I'm drinking the watered down caramel green apple Red Bull from my favorite coffee stand.
Okay, I don't know if that's much better, but okay.
Well, no, not really. But I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning, and I'm worn out and tired. But we have a very special episode of An Evening at the Movies. Why? Because we have some iconic guests back with us for the umpteenth time. They are, well, hold on. Because they've got a long resume of greatness amongst them, but you know they are scientists of the science of all things monsters, women, and horror. Stephen King, serial killers, witchcraft, Agatha Christie, and there may be something else in the works coming out in about a year. I'll let them reveal that one. But they are incredible authors, alone and together. Whatever they're doing it well. Hosts of the other amazing movie podcast, Horror Rewind, which I love listening to. And if you're not listening to it, I highly recommend you pick it up. It is choice. They've been here for Scream. Well, Meg's been here for Scream. They've both been here for Psycho and The Shining. Welcome back, Meg and Kelly.
Woo!
Yay, thank you for having us.
You are welcome. We are always grateful to have you guys back on the show because normally when you guys come back, that means there's new literature out there in the world for everybody to grab a hold of. And I am grabbing a hold of the newest.
We didn't even plan this.
Ooh. Yeah! Oh, look at 4 books on one screen at one time. Because that's how we roll.
That's going to make a great snapshot.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with harmless, shameless publicity.
Nope.
Well, that's part of why they're here. Yeah, exactly.
If you have not picked up your copy of Travels of Terror, I highly recommend you pick it up. We
And this
will
was
get
like
into.
a new. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say this was like a new thing for you guys. Like a, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but it's a venture off of the books that you usually write. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah, and
Off-
we were inspired to write this because of when we were doing our book tours for our Science of series, we were automatically, naturally going to all of these spooky places and
Mhm.
seeking them out. And we're like, why aren't we writing a book about this?
Exactly. Like we're on the trip, we might as well do some more stuff and make money off it. And everybody wants to hear from. I mean, I feel like we read books and like travel guides and stuff, but I personally would rather hear from like two regular people. I mean, mildly famous regular people, but
One of us. One of us.
Yes.
have been and like can
Exactly.
really tell about the
Yeah.
experience. So
Well,
Well,
yeah, and
that's
Kelly and
one
I
of the
don't want
things.
to like.
Go
Yeah, I
ahead,
was
Meg.
just gonna say we want to talk about things that like people like us want to visit and see, and what we feel comfortable going and doing, and Kelly and I aren't the type of person, we're not going to go to like a rave and stay up until 5 a.m. and like all that kind of stuff. So
What?
we were talking from like perspective.
Well, no,
Speak for yourself, Meg. Just kidding.
Yeah, sorry.
no, but I
I mean,
think
it
one
would
of the
depend on the situation.
Yeah.
true. I think one of the things I loved about the book, though, is the fact that, like, at the end of every section of the book, you guys have like different little travel tips
Mm-hmm.
for people, like us. That this is what you need to do if you fully want to embrace the wonderment that is,
Yeah.
going to Salem, Massachusetts, or going to Portland, Oregon, or whatever. Because at the end of the day, if you've never been to the Northwest, you're in for one big culture shock when you get here.
I'm
I
avoiding
mean,
the Pacific Northwest because I'm afraid of Sasquatch.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, you've got to watch out.
You got that, Casey?
oh, that's
sorry.
ironic because what's your favorite basketball team's mascot? Never mind. So
I'm gonna hurt you.
okay. So I really don't want to spoil anything for the listeners who I know are going to
Okay.
go out and pick up this amazing book. But there's a couple little tidbits of wonderment that I found while reading through the book that I'm going to need a little bit more clarification on. And
That's what
one
we're
of
here.
them,
Yeah, we're not trying to spoil the whole book. We want people to
No.
read it, but there's definitely a
No,
few
but
parts
a little, we can give a
that we
little.
want to talk about.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
I literally found myself reading the book and reading a certain section of the book about Los Angeles, California. And at the end, there's this little thing about somebody getting dressed up and going to the Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights.
You mean this?
Uh-huh.
It's my
And
shirt.
I will let the innocent party explain the story and not give away the punchline.
Yeah, I'm ready to hear this.
But I'm not gonna.
This is not how I made
I read that portion of the
a
book the first time, and I was drinking soda at the time, and I spit soda almost all over my book. I was laughing so hard.
we got a
So.
spit take, Kelly.
Yes.
Yeah, so we dressed up as the girls from The Shining, and we went to Universal Horror Nights. Kelly was so excited, only to find out that I bought tickets for the Florida Universal Horror Nights instead of LA, and they wouldn't give me my money back. I had to buy it again.
They are hardcore
So,
about that stuff being non-refundable.
They are. So,
I was
not
scared
fair.
to book
you
it.
live, you learn. You live, you learn, and that definitely stung. But at the same time, I wasn't gonna just go home. I mean, we were dressed and
Yeah,
get it.
I would have cried.
So, yeah, I felt really silly. Kelly was very patient with me.
So, spoiler alert, we're going to be there again in 2 weeks. And I was looking at tickets and I made sure it was the Hollywood Universal and not Orlando,
Kelly.
Meg.
She's
Because
in charge of tickets.
you've taught us all to like double check. So see, it's like a cautionary tale.
Well, when I was going through, I think, Providence, and I had my Lizzie Borden axe, I got in trouble as well. So all of these things, I haven't got to that part yet, but I got yelled at by security, because I had a fake axe that was kind of sticking out of my. I mean, it had like fake blood on it. It was obviously
Nice.
but they were really mad at me. But anyway, so you can all learn from mistakes, and that's why we put those things in there, so that y'all can learn from my silly goof ups.
Well, that's an expensive goof up for sure, but I'm glad you guys got to go. I mean, did you guys have a good time? Because the problem when we went, so we decided if we ever do it again, and I really want to, we will do the VIP tour. It costs like $500 more, but it would be so worth it.
No, we decided to express pass all the way because waiting in lines, we just couldn't get to everything. And we're old and tired. Like we had to go to bed.
We waited 2.5 hours for the Halloween haunted house. It was, I want to say 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. And it was great, but it was like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a little bit longer than that, and we didn't do any other haunted houses because we were so tired of standing in line to like walked around or whatever. So we're like, I want to go again. I want to go with adults. I mean, my daughter was like 17, so it was fine. But yeah, I definitely want to, if you do it, I think it's worth the extra money to, like, if you really want to see everything, because it was crazy.
Yeah. We agree. I can't remember if it made it to the book or not, but our favorite part about waiting in lines though was that random people just started airdropping like random memes and gifs to everyone else who would like accept it, and we just started accepting them all because it's like, what else are we gonna do for 2 hours?
That's amazing. I would never thought of something like that.
It was pretty. I mean, thankfully it was LA. It was nice weather.
Yeah. Florida was hot. At night it wasn't terrible, but during the day. The other thing I wouldn't do if I ever do it again is not spend the day at the park and then go back for Halloween Horror Nights. That was a rookie mistake because we were
that's a lot. That's a long day.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah. I wouldn't.
Well, see, and that's the wonderment of all these travel tips too, is some of the stuff references long days and making sure you have comfortable shoes on. You dress in layers when you're in the Northwest, blah, blah, blah. And see, this way you can maximize your travel and terror experiences and not have to worry about being miserable the whole time.
Exactly. We're practical. If nothing else, Meg, we're practical, right? I think Meg is frozen.
Yeah, she is. Oh, Meg. Yeah, I mean, practical matters a lot when you get older. Like, we have season tickets to OU, and anytime we go to games, I watch these college girls walking around in their short skirts, their tall boots, their high heels, and I'm like, you guys are going to a football game. Why are you dressed like that? Like, you're not going to be able to feel your feet by the end of the game. Like, no.
Just so you guys, I don't have the best connection, so I don't know if I'm breaking up, but
yeah, you keep freezing.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. I just, just maybe ghosts are playing with the connection. I don't know.
Every time Meg freezes, we'll all take a drink. Just kidding. We'll be dead by the end of the show.
I have nothing else to do this weekend. I'll do it.
Okay.
Well, okay. So speaking of ghost experiences, that leads me to my next story that I want clarification on. That happened, I believe, in the Great Pacific Northwest. Um, Somebody had fallen asleep in the hotel room, and the other person happened to have an experience.
Yeah. So it wasn't even that late. It was before midnight. No offense, Meg. Like, that's good that you went to bed before midnight. And I was watching like a rerun of SNL on my phone with my AirPods in. And when it ended, I took my AirPods out and then I turned my phone to put it on the nightstand next to me. And as the light from my phone shone across the room, I saw a man digging through Meg's luggage.
Oh, hell no.
And I, which is even more terrifying to me, I thought a literal physical human man broke into our room and is going through our stuff. And I sat up, bolted up, and turned to Meg to tell her. And before I could even utter a sound, he ran across the room towards the window, not the door, and then disappeared.
Wow.
And I wasn't watching something scary. It wasn't 3 a.m. like a dream. It was, okay, I'm going to go to bed now. And I saw this. I ended up not waking her up, but I stayed awake all night.
I don't blame you. I'm so jealous. I want to have a paranormal experience.
That's what we used to say until it happened. And now it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I'd just be friends with them though.
Yeah. It didn't feel nefarious, but at the same time, you don't want somebody in your room at night going through your luggage.
No. Oh, Meg's frozen again. I
Well,
guess
no,
it's
because I kind of sort of paraphrased my question, and I referred to it as the creepy Portland ghost.
Yes.
Because, I mean, even for a ghost going through somebody's freaking personal luggage,
Yeah. It feels
that's
icky.
kind of creepy.
for
Yeah.
sure.
And we talk about it in the book, but
Yeah.
the next morning as we were leaving, we were reading in the gift shop book, the guidebook, that many people and specifically some couples who stayed in that room saw a similar thing, and it harkens back to the history of the property. And so it was like, okay, that was real, and now we're expanding our minds a little bit.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to rent a room there.
Yeah, it's a neat place. It has like a lot of different things to do there. It a lot to look at. It was a really cool, different hotel. But Kelly, I think after seeing that, like she could not get out of there fast enough. I was like, "Oh, let's walk around and look at stuff." She's like, "No, we're leaving."
No thanks. Let's go home.
I had the nice sleep and she was awake all night. So I said,
and
next time, wake me up.
But also a fun tidbit is that Meg borrowed my scarf like the night before, and we remembered as we were driving away that we left the scarf on the bed, and Meg's like, should we go back for it? I'm like, no. It can get thrown away. It's fine. If it has a ghost attached to it, I don't need to bring that home.
Yeah.
No, it's like an offering to the ghost, because maybe he was looking for a scarf and there wasn't one in my bag, and
Yeah.
that's what he needed. So
His neck was
there you
chilly.
go. Maybe we brought him to the light.
So,
You know what, though,
at the
Meg?
end of the day, have you seen him since you got back from Portland?
Well, if you continue reading in the book, though, you know that when we were telling the story in Providence, Rhode Island, the guy appeared again. Remember, we were on the ghost tour, Meg?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And what did he?
No,
he
it
said
happened.
something-
It was strange. I haven't seen him since
Creepy.
then, but yeah.
Well, maybe you left him in Providence.
I
Was
hope
there-
so. Although we're going back there in a couple days.
Nice. Of all the places
Don't
that you
pick him up and just
about-
leave him there.
Yeah, exactly. Of all the places that you guys visited and talk about in the book, was there one experience that was like your most favorite?
Meg, you have to talk about your like bucket list trip.
Yeah.
Salem's one of my bucket list trips.
Since I was probably about 8 years old, have been obsessed with Lizzie Borden. So which, judge me accordingly. But I have
I'm with
read
you,
so
so
many books. Great. I've read so many books, watched movies. I know this, like, I know the facts, I know the case, I know it backwards and forwards. So being in her house, sleeping in her room, her bedroom, is such a surreal experience. And also being in the rooms where I know the murders happened. And they have some of their furniture and their items there. And it was just a weird, like, out of body experience because
yeah.
I have spent so much time reading it and looking at maps of like how could she have gone, like how should she have killed her dad and then did this and that, and to actually be in there and be in that space, it's just it's very strange, but very cool. And so I was really hoping Lizzie
Uh,
would say hi to me. Because she haunts the other house she moved to once she was exonerated, a nice big mansion. She probably doesn't want to be there in her death.
do you think she did it?
I do. I do
I
think
do
she
too.
did it. Based
I do
on,
too.
yeah, based on, I've done a lot of reading. I mean, I'm no expert, but yeah, I do. I do. Mm-hmm.
You sound like an expert.
I mean, I feel like there's a Science of Lizzie Borden spinoff
Ooh.
somewhere in the works right there.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm with you. I'll read or
You're on
watch
it.
anything about
Just
Lizzie
saying.
Borden.
Yeah. It's fascinating. I mean, I remember being like, "Oh, girls can kill people?" I've
Yeah.
only ever seen action movies and like Jason and all this stuff, and I was like, "Wait a minute. A girl in a corset basically could like kill somebody with an axe?" Obviously that's horrific, but my little brain was like, "Feminism."
I will say I'm trying to figure out how she did 81 swings with an axe in a corset.
Yeah.
You can barely breathe in that when you're not moving.
Right? I know. Well, some theorize that she was naked. That's one
Mm,
theory. Is that's how uh how she didn't have blood on her. But
yeah.
I don't know. That seems a little
In her
far-fetched,
underwear or
but maybe.
something.
And what I would say is feminine rage and adrenaline.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Her
Very
dad was
true.
so cheap and annoying.
Rest in peace, Mr. and Mrs. Borden, I guess.
Yes.
I'm not going down that road.
Kelly, did you have a favorite?
I love all things Hollywood. Obviously, as you mentioned, Salem was a bucket list, but to explore all of the haunted, creepy things in Hollywood, I've loved movies ever since I was little. And every Sunday, my grandma would take me to the movies, and we would learn about this Finnish icon, Vampira. Other people pronounce it Vampira, but
Yeah.
we Finns, because she's Finnish, and going to see her gravesite and learning more about her. And all of that it just felt so visceral, and like ancestors were like, yes, you're there, you're doing this. It felt like fate. It was awesome.
I enjoyed that chapter a lot. The Hollywood Cemetery is on my bucket list.
Oh yeah. And
It's
to
really
hear
cool.
that this girl was visited by Valentino and he gave her a rose and she survived, and now that woman who walks and places the rose on his grave every year, we're like, we need to do this. We need to go and witness this in August some year. We haven't been able to yet, but what a great story.
Did you guys
Well,
sorry, Casey, I know you
like
have questions.
well, no, I'm just gonna say really quick. Isn't like next year like a big anniversary for the whole Valentino thing?
I think it is. So Meg, let's book it. Let's plan it. All of us. Let's all go.
Yes. I would totally do that.
Hey,
Yeah.
Did you
well,
guys?
because like Amanda, my huge bucket list is I have to experience the Hollywood Cemetery,
Yeah. I love Hollywood too.
and
I'm with you,
especially
Kelly.
going through reading that whole big section about everything that you can experience at the cemetery. It just
Yeah.
you knew beforehand it was big, but what you guys wrote about it literally just made it seem that much more big and elaborate and mind
You know,
blowing.
and it's so touching because I know we're focusing on horror celebrities or people that we know, but just to see all of the monuments and items that are left in memory of people, everyday people, it just put into perspective like life in general.
And there's still people too. Did you guys, sorry, this was a question I really wanted to ask because I loved that Hollywood chapter. Did you guys try to or want to go to the Chateau Marmont? Or not really?
We would have loved to, but for our limited time that we were there, we
Gotcha.
didn't even try.
I mean, I don't know if there's anything haunted about it, but I just
Yeah.
feel like it's such an iconic Hollywood thing where unfortunately people have
Probably.
died, and I would love
Right.
to go there. I
Well,
read a
and
whole
Meg
book
was
Yeah,
probably
about it.
going through coffee
What-
withdrawals.
We're all on
what
delays.
we like yeah, what we're finding is that like the more history, the more horror and scary and ghosts and true crime and all those things.
Mhm.
So being in these historic buildings, you can start to sort of get a sense of how the community sees the building, like whether
Mhm.
it's being taken care of or not, right? Like we went through a asylum in Ohio that is not being taken care of very well, but this woman's trying this sort of here.
Oh,
Hmm.
drink time.
And seeing places like that are taking care of like the Roosevelt Hotel in LA. Am I just breaking up a lot or just a little?
It's not terrible.
We just keep taking shots,
No.
Meg.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just like
I mean,
saying all
I
this
have
stuff,
more,
and I'm
I
like,
have
I might be
more
talking to
technical
myself. I
problems.
don't know. Okay.
What
Well,
about the
anyway,
Cecil?
my point being is
Sorry.
there's so much history, and within history, I think that's what Kelly and I love is we start learning about all these people from the past and their stories, and whether people believe in ghosts or not, they were there. They were there at one time,
Yeah.
and that's really freaking cool, you know.
Yeah, and it's like they may not still be there if you don't believe in that stuff, but yeah, I'm with you. When I have been to places where like I know celebrities have been or lived or whatever, I'm the same way. I'm like in awe. I'm like, and I don't know why it feels stupid saying it now, but it's like I'm in the same building where this person did this. Like, like seeing the Psycho House at Universal, that was like mind blowing for me. I was just like, oh my God. And I know it's not even a real house, but it's just like everything that's attached to it.
Yeah.
No, we're the exact same way. We love all of that stuff.
I am obsessed with Hollywood and horror.
And that's what makes, the book that much more enjoyable for readers like myself and Amanda is we may not, like the fact that very early in the LA chapter of the book, you bring up the whole 1428 Elm Street house, which, as Amanda knows, for me is like, oh my God,
Papers.
emotional.
Getting verklempt.
Because yeah, Freddy is 10 times better than Michael Myers every day of the week and twice on
Whatever.
Sunday. But we won't get in. We won't get into that debate. But it's
Do
still.
you know that
I've never gotten.
Sorry. We have the worst connections. Do you know that I went to Pasadena and did not get to see any of the Halloween stuff because we went to the Rose Bowl and we were on a very strict schedule. So now I got to plan another trip to Pasadena just to go to all the Halloween like landmark sites.
Yep.
I'm telling you, 4-way vacation.
Let's go.
Kelly
Let's
suggested
split
it.
the bill.
Yes. We could stay at the Cecil if we wanted to get really crazy. I'm just kidding.
Oh God.
No,
That
I
might
won't
be
go
more
near that
hard than I
place.
can handle.
No
Okay,
thanks.
well, I mean, with all of that said, for this book, you guys got to visit and experience hundreds and hundreds of amazing experiences, sites, all of that. Um, is there anywhere that is on your bucket list that you haven't yet gotten to go to that you would love to go to?
For me, New Orleans. We did
Mhm.
not make it for this book, and I've never been. And also, my friend just went to Savannah and sent me the most amazing pictures of like the above ground tombs there as well, and just the aesthetic is so spooky. And so I want to hit those two places up.
I wish I could have gone to New Orleans before Katrina. Like, it was
Mm,
somewhere I always wanted to go, and I know
yeah.
they've rebuilt it and everything's cool, and there's still a lot of old stuff, but it's one thing I regret not doing when I was younger because I've never been
Yeah.
there either. I was supposed to go next month, but honestly, I was going to go with two other girls to New Orleans to see if we could get tickets to Taylor Swift, and if not, we were just going to party outside with the other people.
Fun.
And then I was like, let's do all the cool ghost stuff, but I'm not recovered enough from my surgeries to do that much walking.
Yeah.
And I have been to New Orleans, and I highly recommend it. I went pre-Katrina, and so I do recommend it. I think, I know maybe this is not okay, but I think it is okay. Bucket list is like foreign, like Europe haunted stuff, like Transylvania, and like all this old school stuff, like Travels of Terror Europe edition. That's my goal.
Sign me up.
I know, right?
I'm ready to go.
We got to get people buying these books like hotcakes so that we can convince our publisher to send us. That's right.
Pick up your copy today wherever you buy your Barnes and Noble, Amazon. We don't care. Just pick them up like hotcakes.
So we can go to Transylvania.
Meg, you're so far behind. You didn't even pick up your book.
No, I was just watching you guys do it. I actually was in time. I just am lazy, I guess.
Even at the same time, if you don't want to read about traveling and terrors, you can always pick up this wonderment as well with a short story in it, authored by Meg herself. Highly recommend picking this up as well. I have the whole set.
Casey,
I'm their number one fan.
Say the title for people who are only listening.
Oh, Mother Knows Best.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's
with
a
nice little 10-page short story called Special Medicine.
Ooh.
Written by one of our favorite icons herself. I highly recommend that book as well as all of the science of everything in the world and the Willoughby Chronicles, Twisted Reveries, and all of that stuff. You need to pick up the whole set because they're just that good.
Okay, I have a question.
I'm gonna have a big ego now. Yes.
Sorry, poor Meg. I'm sorry. I'm like not talking over you, but you're so delayed.
No, I know.
Okay, so I know, and I don't know how much you can or can't say about it, but I know the Science of Hitchcock got pushed. So if you can tell us anything about when it'll come out, that would be great. But also, I wanted to ask, are you guys reading or going to read The Hitchcock Hotel?
So I will answer the first part. Meg will answer the second.
Okay.
Our book got pushed for a good reason. Our editor and our publisher wanted more time to work it and promote it so that we can release it not at the same time as this other incredible book, but this coming summer in 2025.
Nice.
And so it's a good problem to have. We are thrilled because strategically, no one wants two books released at the same time because
Right.
it's hard to promote two books at the same time. So yes, summer 2025. And Meg, are you going to read Hitchcock Hotel?
Yes, I really want to. I haven't picked it up yet. I will be honest, when we write these science books, we are so immersed in that
Yeah.
world. I was tired of typing the word Hitchcock after a while. So I need like a break. I need like a little bit of a break. But I'm ready. I'm back. I'm ready. So have you guys, I think one of you read it, right?
I am currently reading it. So I can give you a
Recommend.
spoiler-free review when I'm done.
Okay.
So
that
far,
would
it's
be great.
intriguing. Yeah.
Okay, for sure. Okay, cool.
So, with all of that said about the totally being immersed in the Hitchcock world, was it the same way when you guys were writing The Science of Agatha Christie?
Mm.
Yes, there was that amazing movie that came out. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I started to watch it. I'm like, this is too soon. It was all about like a murder mystery that happened during a production of The Mousetrap. And I love all of it, but it was just like, okay, I need to step away from this and, do something else for a while. Same with serial killer.
I've never heard of that
I think
movie.
with all of our books, what is that called? But anyway, with all of our books, I think, we really, really get deep into the research and the watching, and with Agatha Christie, reading novels just one after the other. And I love Agatha Christie, but I needed a break. I have not read another Agatha Christie since then, but I need to.
Do you guys worry you'll ever burn yourself out on horror?
I don't think
that's the stupidest question ever.
No, that's a great question. And I don't think we can. Like, I think, like we just said, we can get tired of certain topics, like especially when we wrote The Science of Serial Killers, I had to step away a lot from true crime. But I have watched every true crime thing that's come out since now. And every horror movie that's coming out is amazing. And there's so many that we're missing because there's too much right now, which is great. We have the best problem.
Yeah. I saw a TikTok the other day of like 10 to 15 straight to streaming horror movies that are coming out, like on Hulu and Max and Netflix. And they all look really good. Like they don't look like crap straight to streaming movies. And I'm like, I gotta find time to watch all these. Woman of the Hour is one I am dying to watch. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer for that.
Yeah. I feel like we might be in the golden age of horror. Like everything is just happening.
Yes.
Well, and even like the other night, I sat down and I took Meg's advice and checked out a semi-recent A24 release, and I actually really enjoyed the movie. And
which one?
I highly recommend if you have not. I saw the TV Glow.
Oh, I haven't even heard of that one. Okay.
Yeah, we loved it. We talked about it on our podcast, and we keep getting messages from people saying, I didn't even know this movie existed until I listened to that episode, and I watched it, and now I love it.
Okay, I'm going to look for it. Can't believe Casey didn't tell me about it. You're slacking. Okay,
I am so immersed in my A24 addiction right now that
you are. You really are.
If I hadn't, I mean,
did you guys watch Late Night with the Devil? Did you? I was so disappointed. The movie had in my opinion, had so much potential, and then it literally like shit the bed at the end. I was so upset.
I keep hearing that. I just read the other day somebody saying that they felt like it was really good until the end.
Yeah. It just, Casey, you finished it, right? No? Yes?
No.
Late Night with the Devil?
No.
I don't know. I think it's worth a watch, but it's just you get because it is old Hollywood. It is like, well, not old Hollywood, but like 70s, talk show, game show. And the whole premise and all the buildup is so intense. And the ending is just like a shit show. So I still watch it, but just go into it knowing you're probably going to be mad at the end.
A review that I read and I agree with, and I was thinking the same thing, is that that creep show episode that was very Evil Dead-esque, with Ted Raimi and all of that. They did the same concept but better. I don't know, like whatever you think, but I did enjoy that a lot, and I think I enjoyed that episode more than I enjoyed the movie.
Okay. Cool.
I will sit down probably this weekend and finish the.
I mean, you don't have to.
Oh no, I will.
Casey, Chancey and I have both already made you not want to watch it. It's kind of like me reading The Stand. Shanna was ahead of me and she kept messaging me going, this book is awful. This book is awful. And so I'm like, oh, I can't keep reading it. To be fair,
So
it's not
spoiler
awful.
alert. We were supposed to end Stephen King Birthday Bonanza month with a talk about the book and the miniseries.
Yeah.
That
we couldn't
went
finish
away.
the book. And it's not
They couldn't finish the book.
Yeah, I say we.
I love the book.
It's not that it's an awful book because it's not, and it's King. Like his writing is always genius, but it's just not our cup of tea. Like I will say, apocalypse, post-apocalyptic, any kind of that kind of stuff is just not for me, and that's just a personal thing. Like I don't think it's terrible. It couldn't keep my interest.
Yeah. No, but also it's too soon because it's all about a pandemic, and we've just been through one, so it feels even more difficult to get through.
I actually wish I could have read it pre-COVID. Like, okay, so Casey, you read it pre-COVID, and now you've read it again. Did it change the way you looked at it?
Well, I've read it like 3 or 4 times pre-COVID, and
Jesus,
like
it's 1,000 pages.
Yeah. So, what's your point? How many times have you read The Shining?
The Shining's like 400, 500 pages.
It definitely. I don't feel like COVID was 100% like Captain Trips.
No.
But at the same time, thank you. It definitely, the book felt different going through it after COVID. Because it's like, you understand the fact that we literally went through all of that with COVID. People were dying. Hospital beds were, at a scarcity, while people are, literally lying on tables in hallways and hospitals, fighting for their life. I'm not going down that road and
let's
up all the gory details.
When I read it before I had kids and after I had kids, and I feel like I had a very different experience. Like, where it was a lot more visceral for me the second time, thinking it as reading as a mother. So it's interesting.
Clarifying it as in Pennywise it.
Yeah.
It. I read it. Yeah. Not the
I knew that's what you meant. I knew that's what you meant, but okay.
See, Meg, I got your back.
Yeah, I read
He's so smart. It's like when you watch Dirty Dancing as a kid and then you watch it as a parent and you're like, baby's parents weren't wrong.
No.
Or like Ariel in The Little Mermaid. No. King Triton was not wrong. Girl, keep it in your pants and get back down here.
Yeah.
Casey, I know I've been like kind of monopolizing the conversation, so I just want to ask about one more thing real quick, and then I will let you do whatever other things.
Oh no, you're fine.
I wanted to talk to you guys about the Austin chapter, because I mean it was great, and I live close to there, so I'm definitely going to go check out. I mean, I'm like 4 hours from Austin, so I'm going to go check out that stuff. But I literally screamed out loud when I read you guys talking about Alamo Drafthouse. It made me so happy. I cannot tell you how happy that made me. Literally, it's the only place I'll watch movies anymore. it's like the best experience. They
Yeah.
I have got to see so many movies there. Hi, Nico.
Yes.
So I did not go to the movies as a kid. It just wasn't really something we did. Like before I was old enough to go on dates or go by myself.
Hi, people.
Hi, people.
Hi.
That's his tagline. So there's so many movies I never got to see in a theater that a lot of people my age probably did. But then there's
Yeah.
movies that came out like Halloween. Came out the year I was born, but I was not born yet. So I have been to Alamo. I have seen Halloween. I've seen Halloween 3. We've seen Clue. We've seen Back to the Future. Casey's mad because I'm going to watch Nightmare on Elm Street 3 in a couple of weeks.
Oh.
Alamo is just, I'm so happy that you put that in there. And I hope, because I know it's not just in Texas, but the ones in DFW closed for like a month.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
luckily they reopened. This is going to sound stupid. I cried when I read that. I was like,
No,
there's no place like it. There's just
the
not.
one we have here in Minnesota closed for a bit too, but it's reopened now, and so we know the joy of Alamo Draft House, and it is a dream for movie lovers.
Yeah.
Yes.
When we went to the one, and we talk about it in the book, but when we went to the one in Austin and they had the little Evil Dead 2 party, it was so it was so fun. And again, it's all about like seeing people who are like you and people who want to go to an Evil Dead 2 party. Now that's my kind of rave. So that was really fun, and we had little props that they gave us. Love movies, you know, it's not like just a business. They love movies, and I think that I hope everybody gets the chance to see a movie there.
It's so cool because the one in Las Colinas, which is like maybe 20 minutes from me. I know, Casey, we didn't get time to do that when you were here. That just means you have to come back. The one in Las Colinas is all John Carpenter themed because the highway it's off of is John Carpenter Freeway. And so I was so excited when that one opened. And that's the one where I watched Halloween because it's like all John Carpenter stuff. The one by our house in Denton used to be all old school monster movies, and now they've changed it to Disney. And they're like old school Disney posters, like Bambi and whatever. But I'm like, this doesn't fit. I mean, it's cute, but whatever. Yeah, we went to a Clue movie party, and they gave you little like pop guns and like a foam wrench, and just. We've been to music video parties. We've been to Taylor Swift, Michael Jackson, girls of the '90s, like all. And you just sing and dance and do whatever. So, yeah, I was happy you guys wrote about that.
So, I cannot get through a whole episode without having some kind of Taylor Swift bashing. So, what is this I heard about not going to Pittsburgh while Taylor Swift is in town?
What?
I think we made the mistake of going when Taylor Swift was in town, didn't we?
No, we didn't go
insane.
No, we didn't go to the Bram Stoker because Taylor Swift, and we couldn't get a hotel within like 2 hours of there.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So, you know how it is.
I'm sorry.
You know how it is. Yeah.
It's
would
all
you please
Tay-Tay's
tell Taylor,
fault.
Amanda? Yeah. I assume you know her, Amanda.
Who?
She said tell Tay-Tay, but also I have not gotten tickets to anything. Like I saw the movie in the theater, but I have never seen her in person.
I haven't either, and I was so mad because my husband called me yesterday. So his company is like a really big, their big charity is like this women's shelter and charity in Dallas. So they always do these big fundraisers. And I'm like, oh, we have 2 Taylor Swift tickets for Vancouver. And he's like, on our anniversary, he was like, if you want to go, we'll go. But it's going to cost like $5,000. I'm like, no, I can't. You saying yes makes me feel good. And it's not that we couldn't afford it. It's that, and that sounds shitty to say, I'm very fortunate that we could afford it. I think that's too much money to spend on a concert. I just really do. So we were trying, he was like, I'll bid on these tickets. I'll bid and I'll see what we can do. These 2 tickets, floor seats in Vancouver. Now, granted, it's a charitable donation, went for $8,000.
Wow.
And I don't even know if you can deduct charitable donations on your taxes anymore. So wow. Yeah. I want to go so bad, and her final show is the week of my birthday, but I can't. I don't think I can justify spending that much money. So, but yeah, it's ridiculous. Like I'm seeing, so I'm in like 3 or 4 Swiftie groups, and I saw someone post the other day that they have had an Airbnb booked for almost a year, and they canceled their reservation. And it's because they're trying to jack up prices and get somebody else. And I'm like, that should be illegal. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, so should the
Right.
ticket scalping and all that, but she's had it booked. Oh, it just makes me so mad. And people think it's Taylor's fault. And it's not. But anyway, I'm with you. If I was going for something else, I wouldn't go to a city where she was playing.
Yeah, it's.
So
Oh, sorry. You go ahead, Casey.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. I was going to bring up something else.
It's another travel tip. It's like if there's a major act in town, they're going to jack up hotel prices. The transportation is going to be surge charges, just surge rates. It's, plan ahead.
And just in general, a nightmare as a person trying to do stuff. Like,
Well, and the obvious point is to obviously places like LA and New York City are going to be a lot more difficult to get in and around than other places. So,
hey, she's boosting the
again,
economy everywhere she goes. So,
I appreciate the fact that you guys brought up the whole ride sharing if you're touring LA, because driving those freeways, I've never driven those freeways. I've driven I-5 in Washington,
Yeah.
and that's bad. I've never driven I-5 in LA, and I don't think I would ever want to. That road rage, my road rage would make Annie Wilkes look like a freaking normal lady.
I'd like to drive the Pacific Coast Highway. That's on my bucket list too.
Oh.
Yeah, but the Pacific
I don't know
Coast
why.
Highway
It's
is not
too
I-5.
scary.
I know it's not.
I
Well,
don't
I
like
don't know it's not, but I love California. I'd live there if it wasn't so crazy expensive and my husband would let us, but
Oh, but also the earthquakes seem
yeah.
scary. I know there's not an earthquake every day, but that would be terrifying.
Yeah. We've had some in the past few years in Oklahoma and Texas because of fracking, and nowhere near like the big giant ones that California gets, but even like the little ones where everything's like shaking, you're like, I don't like this. Like we have tornadoes. We don't need earthquakes too.
Meg, have you oh, sorry.
Well, no, I was just going to say, I lived through one earthquake in my lifetime. I was literally standing in the middle of the soda aisle at Safeway when that thing broke off, and nope, that's enough for me.
Safely.
I was going to ask Meg, I know you've lived lots of places. Have you experienced an earthquake or a hurricane or a tornado? I know you haven't had a tornado.
Yeah, a tornado did hit our house, but thankfully it didn't take the whole house. Just some doors and windows and things. But actually, yes, I lived in San Diego, and when I was little, we had some earthquakes, and I don't remember that much about it. I was very little, like preschool age, but I like running with my parents because it was really scary. So I guess I'll keep the tornadoes, but they're really scary too. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, honestly, I have to say, if I have to choose between earthquakes, tornadoes, and hurricanes, hurricanes, I'm out. Like, I don't, because there's not really a safe place to hide. You know, when you live in a tornado state, you can get an underground shelter. You can, and yeah, you don't always have enough warning and it is dangerous, but I feel like I would outlast a tornado more than I would a hurricane.
Yeah.
I feel like I would take my chance with earthquakes though, because the likelihood that I mean, Oklahoma and Texas and Kansas, F4 tornadoes are more than once a year. And so, you know, an F4 tornado is like an 8 on the Richter scale, a 7 on the Richter scale. So I feel like I'd take earthquakes because I feel like that would be the place. That would be the one where I could have the most safety. But also, I don't live somewhere that has lots of earthquakes, so maybe I'm stupid.
Maybe the grass is greener sometimes, but maybe we
Yeah.
also just want to stick with what we know.
I mean, I know how to outlast a tornado. I have a go bag.
There you go. See?
So, yeah, I've done that since college. Since I've lived on my own, I've had a go bag.
You're
For kind of-
organized.
Well, I'm type 1 diabetic, and so I
Mm.
kind of have to plan ahead because there's only so many days you can go without insulin, and really it's 2
Yeah.
to 3. So that's always in my
Wow.
mind
Yeah.
about,
Mhm.
but you can only stockpile it for so long because then it goes bad. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, have something just in case because, they leveled this whole area. Now we have Amazon and you can drive. It's a lot different now, but still, I just like to be careful.
So before we wrap up the show, because we don't want to keep you awesome ladies all night long, but
Thank
would you
you.
guys like to share the first travel of terror that you guys had together from all the way back in the day?
Our first trip together, or the first time we witnessed something spooky?
Okay, so I think I was more gearing towards the trip to Vancouver.
Yes. So Meg spent much of her formative years in Vancouver, BC.
Nice.
And when we met and bonded over the X-Files. And so we planned a trip and we decided we're going to go see as many X-Files filming spots as we can. And we did. And it was amazing. Meg, what do you have to say about that trip?
It was great. I'm glad that it was a while ago and we got to do it kind of old school, and this is before we had really many cares in the world. So we could drive around and didn't matter what time it was, what was going on, we could just focus on
No
that.
cell phones or GPS.
No
Mhm.
cell phones or GPS. So
MapQuest or even before MapQuest?
I mean, I think
We were
it
using
down
a
little
physical
bit.
atlas.
Nice.
Yeah, like we had an actual. Thankfully, Vancouver is very grid, has a very easy. So it's like a navigate, but yeah, we went all over. It was really fun, and I'm so glad we got
That's
to
so
do that.
No kids, no responsibilities, any rave that you wanted to go to.
And Meg
I
still
was
didn't
still
go to the
in
raves
bed
with
by
me.
10.
Great.
So, all right. So before I wrap up the episode, though, I do because you two are obviously hardcore, diehard horror aficionados,
As are we.
as are we. I mean,
We're just not
I wasn't
published.
going to toot our own horn.
We're not
I
cool.
wasn't. Oh yeah. Yet that day
Yet.
will come eventually.
I don't think
But
so.
yeah, probably not. But I can still dream.
It'll be published in our friend group.
But exactly.
There you
That's
go.
all that matters. So is there anything awesomely amazing that well, everybody in the group gets a chance, but anything awesomely amazing that you've read or seen that you think the listeners should definitely check out?
I have not seen it yet, but I'm going to go as soon as I can. I've heard that The Substance with Demi Moore is mind-blowing, and I'm regretting not seeing it yet. So I'm going to see
Yeah.
it this weekend, and I'm just throwing it out there.
I haven't even heard of that. I don't know how. Also, sorry, Kelly, real quick, is that a Bride of Frankenstein behind you?
It is. Meg got it for me.
Woo! We're twinsies with our Bride of Frankensteins. I should have worn I have this shirt, you guys. It's Frankenstein's monster, and the bride, and it's like the Dirty Dancing lift. So he's
Oh,
Johnny and she's a baby, and he's lifting her. It's the cutest shirt.
Oh, that's
Anyway,
cute.
sorry.
I don't know. and I still don't know how I feel about it. But have you guys heard of the book The September House?
Yes, I have it on pre-order or on order.
Okay. Yeah, it's really different, and it really is. Some people love it, some people hate it. I feel like you can't feel middle about it, but it's a haunted house story, but I'm not going to give anything away. All I'll say is that it doesn't go the typical way of a haunted house story.
Yeah. So did you like it? Because that will help me decide.
Meg, you totally cut out there. You were frozen and we didn't hear your
I was
answer.
just saying, enjoyed it.
Avoid
Yeah.
it?
No.
Oh. Wow. Okay. Well, I will take your word for it. So.
Oh, she didn't say that. Wait, what did you say,
Oh, wait.
Meg?
I said I enjoyed it.
Oh,
Oh.
this is how
I
rumors
said avoid
get
it.
started.
Oh my God, I have to get off of here.
Get better internet.
Well, it's usually Casey, so I'm sure he's glad for the reprieve. It's usually.
I'm just laughing at the fact that it's not me for once in my life.
I was like,
Now that I say that,
I already paid
we'll have
for it.
problems.
Oh, sorry.
Co-host,
Okay,
is there
I better
anything
get
that
out of
you've
here.
I mean,
read or
oh, sorry. I do, like I said, want to see Woman of the Hour, which is, I'm sure, very loosely based on a true story of what was this guy called? Was he called the dating game killer, or was it?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't the pillowcase killer, was it? But anyway,
Dating
it's the dating game killer, and so she, gets a date with this guy, and turns out he's a psychopath. This
Alcala.
I think this movie is going to be stupid, but I still really want to watch it. Carved. It's about a sentient pumpkin. So think rubber, but with a pumpkin. Is what I'm getting from it.
pass? Pass.
No,
Pass
the
again.
plot sounded a little bit better than rubber, but I don't know. A sentient jack-o'-lantern, I'll take it. It's already out, but I really want to see Speak No Evil. I hear James McAvoy is great in it, so
Meg saw it. Yeah, Meg saw it.
Yeah. Did you watch the original one? Okay. I think I'm going to do that first, but I don't know if it's. My problem is I don't know if it's in English, but we'll see. I think it is because I want to say it was like Dutch or Swedish or something. I can't remember, but. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
So, for me, I'm not. Well, because we have no movie theater in this town anymore. So, my last movie that I went and saw in the movie theater was Deadpool and Wolverine. So, I'm not going to recommend that. That movie's already made $8.5 billion. They don't need my recommendation.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was horrible. I was like, I will cut you.
No, I love that movie. But I will say this though, because I'm deep into my A24 addiction. Amanda knows just how deep, but we won't get into that. But
we might need an intervention.
Probably I do need an intervention. The two movies that I've seen most recently from that studio were The Witch and finally Don't Shoot Me Now, but Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh.
So
that movie was wild, but I liked it. I don't know if I would watch it again. I might watch it like one more time. It's not a movie I would like just watch repeatedly, but it was cool. Like, and I really loved the Asian representation and also Jamie Lee's sausage fingers. Mm-hmm. Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy. Okay, sorry.
So if you guys have not, like me, and have not seen those up until now, I highly recommend you go and do it. at least once so you can say you've done it. They may not necessarily be everybody's particular cup of tea, but I enjoyed them. I've got a weird, twisted mind though, so you know it is what it
A24
is.
is wild. It's not for everybody. But
Charlie Sheen. All I'll say.
was Saltburn wasn't A24, was it?
No.
Okay.
Thank God.
It
My
should
addiction would
be A24. It fits right in.
my addiction would have been over and done with at that point.
You're telling me you'd rather
Just
watch
saying.
Midsummer again than Saltburn?
Nope. Pass on both. No Swedish sex cults for me. Thank you
There's
very
a gun to
much.
your head and you have to choose. So is it vampires or Swedish sex cults? And now he hates me.
So we're currently taking applications for a new co-host for Casey on an evening at the movies because Amanda's fired.
Step in my office. You're fucking fired. Okay, sorry.
Whatever. So, but you know, I do want to thank our awesome guests for being here this week. It is always fun having them back on the show, and I look forward to having them back. Hopefully, again, maybe on or around the summertime of next year when
Summer
another
2025, Alfred
Yeah.
Hitchcock.
Yes. I am so stoked for that book, you guys. Like, I've liked all your books a lot. Like, I think the Women in Horror one was probably my favorite, but the Hitchcock one, I am so excited about, and I'm glad that it got pushed and all the stuff that you guys love. But I was also bummed because I'm so stoked for this book. So, can't wait.
I was concerned there was some other major problem and not just a whole, well, let's not do two books at one time thing. So
No,
I'm
it's
glad that there's no major
Yeah, but you don't
problems
want to
and it's
do that.
still.
So, yeah.
yeah, no, they were seeing our trajectory of everything else, and it's like this is not the right time, and we're thankful.
That makes perfect sense. I'm gonna take it back to Taylor Swift for a second, but everybody's like, why isn't she releasing Rep Taylor's version or debut Taylor's version or whatever? And it's like, she just released a new album, you guys. We're in the middle of an awards cycle. Like, why would she release another album to compete with the album she just released? Like,
exactly. That's our thinking.
That's not how it works. And she's a smart businesswoman, so she would not do that. She's been very strategic about releasing things to stay on the top of the charts. So good for you guys. That was a good decision.
So
if you are wanting
as
to
always,
give away any advanced reader copies, I might know somebody who wants to read it.
Well, I mean, I personally will be in contact with my two favorite artists, authors, because I have a complete set of all autographed copies of the books, and
None of mine are autographed. That's okay.
These two are not autographed. So
I'm gonna send you a $60 package to autograph all my books, just so you can send it back to me. I'm just kidding.
You know, we're gonna be in Austin though next week, so you could just drive. I mean, $60.
I could. When next week?
Meg, do you know the day? Saturday.
Okay.
Oh, she's looking.
She's looking Friday. No,
is this for the book tour or
Saturday?
Yes, it's Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see the smoke coming out of Amanda's ears right now, trying to figure out how she's going to make this happen.
I could drive to Austin anytime I want.
I know you could.
Oh, so here's the thing though. My husband left town on Tuesday, and he will not be home until next Thursday. So I'm like, should I do that? But also, he's in Auburn right now, partying and having fun. And okay, it's not his fault. I couldn't go because of my ankle, but maybe I'll drive to Austin.
Let's go.
I'm not going to say whose fault that is, but
yours.
Hi.
Only if you believe
I know it's
that kind of stuff. If you believe in manifestation and people saying things out loud and then they happen, then yeah, totally Casey's fault and Chancey's.
You've been blaming Chancey and I for the better part of 9 months for that damn broken
I
ankle.
don't believe in that. I'm just kidding. I don't believe in that.
I know. So, but anyway, definitely thank you to the listeners for being here each and every week. You guys are awesome. Um, before we're out of here, ladies, would you like to let the listeners know where all they can find you out in the world? Anything you want to shamelessly plug?
We are on all social medias under our names, Meg Hofdahl and Kelly Florence, and then also look for us under Horror Rewind.
And we'll share that in the show notes as well.
Obviously. And on top of it, they are an evening at the movies icons. So there is that
Oh,
as well. So um, I would ask if there's anything coming up on the SIP list, but Amanda, you have nothing
yeah.
planned. And this,
Amanda has done the math on how much time she spent at doctor's appointments and in surgeries this year since February, and it's almost 40 hours. So to say I have a lot going on is an understatement. The SIP list has been on hiatus. We just recorded an episode, and I really want to be back, you guys. I really do. I thank you for being patient with me, but it's just life is tough right now. So, but you can find me here.
so you guys all know that I like to be detailed and give out long lists. I'm not going to do that. You guys know we are currently transitioning out of Stephen King Birthday Bonanza month and rolling right into Halloween Horror Fest. So we've got 4 or 5 awesome horror movies coming up for you this month as well. And then in November, we'll be talking a little bit about John Grisham. So stay tuned for
Can't
that as
wait.
well. So lots of big stuff, and we will keep everybody updated on when the Science of Alfred Hitchcock will be dropping. And I beg and plead, if you guys love awesome travel books, go pick up Travels of Terror
Yes. Woo! Here we go.
one last time.
It really is a great little travel guide. Like I will say, like the stories are fun and I love how much details in there, but even if you just like skim through it, there's like here's where you should stay. Here's some travel tips. Here's the cool place we found that you might not know about. So it, it doesn't read like a travel guide, but it is a travel guide. So definitely, yes.
And on our way out the door, I just want to say too that um, while I was reading the section on Portland, Oregon, I happened to catch a glimpse of who your tour guide was, and I kept going back trying to wait a minute, Sarah Gilbert, and I'm like
What?
from
Little Oscar?
Roseanne. No, not
Oh, that's her
Melissa.
daughter. Not that Sarah
Sarah
Gilbert.
Gilbert, as in Darlene from Roseanne, but
Yeah,
not the
which
same
is
one.
oh.
I'm
I was
like,
like, that's her daughter.
because how
Okay.
how weird would that have been?
That would have been amazing. But
So
also, why would she be doing that? But you never know.
that's exactly why I was confused. I'm like, why is she hosting spooky tours in Portland, Oregon?
If I was rich and didn't have to work all the time, I'd be doing shit like that every day.
Well,
I'd be like, hey, I have my own winery. Come hang out with me and let's get drunk and go watch scary movies. Like, I'll pay for all of you. Come on, let's do it.
Enter the
and
lottery immediately and bring us all along.
Yes, definitely.
so launching next week our Patreon channel so that Casey and Amanda can get rich.
I'll show my feet if necessary. You could see my swollen ankle with the scars.
Whoa, whoa.
Hot. Some people
Ha-
like scars. So,
half of the co-hosting team on an evening at the movies does not endorse us having an OnlyFans.
hey, it's an ankle scar. If it works, it works. Anyway, thank you guys so much for
So
being here. We really
thank
appreciate
you
it. Sorry
guys,
it's so
and
Thanks for
long.
having us.
anytime you guys are always welcome to come back, even if you don't have a book to plug. Even
Awesome.
if we've
Thank
got
you.
some movie, just pop in and come say hi. We're always here for
Sounds
everybody.
good.
So Amanda, take us home.
definitely for Science of Hitchcock, because we are ready. And congratulations on this book and the tour, and have fun. And maybe I'll come see you in Austin. To everybody else, thank you for watching and listening. And we hope you all come back for an evening at the movies. Goodbye.
Peace.